Hello folks, how you doing? Welcome back to Whiteoaks Organic Farm. Today I'm doing a spotted planting in the glasshouse. Some indoor planting. These happen to be little cucumbers. They were sown about 4 weeks ago. Transplanted from seedling form into 10 centimetre pots. So what I'm doing today is I got the plant food here. Got my organic Greenvale plant food. It's very high in nitrogen. It's also got trace elements in it there. It's very nifty stuff to get an early release of nitrogen. 15 inches per plant per row. So with the Greenvale, it's pelleted form. See the little pellets there? We've got about 7, 8, maybe even up to 10, just sprinkled around the hole as so. The root starting to form in around the base of the pot. That's a good indicator as to when the plant's ready to go. Here we can see overhead support wires. It's like a bull wire. I've hung the strings off of those overhead so that allows the plant, when it gets more and more established, when it wants to grow, to you wrap it up maybe once a week around the string, all the way up to almost to the top. This is very, very similar to the way you plant tomatoes as well. We'll see the tomatoes just aren't ready for planting yet. Maybe that's going to be next week. But cucumbers, very, very heavy feeders. They like a high humidity, hence the glass house. Very good environment for it. There's several ways to do this. I just like to make sure it's this. What's going to happen is the plant, you want it to sit in underneath the string. Like so, and you just firm the plant in. Be careful not to disturb the roots too much. And then the Greenvale pelleted plant food is very high in the nitrogen, as I said earlier, so the more you water this bed's fairly dry. We haven't watered this bed all week because we just cleared it out of another salad crop, but we'll have the overhead sprinklers. We'll go on this now for about 5 to 10 minutes. I give the plants a good drenching with the watering can, and I put a cap full of this liquid vinasse. It's derived from molasses and sugar beet. It's very, very high in nitrogen, and the plant really appreciates it because it takes the protein up in liquid form, which is much, much quicker. The leaves take it up much, much quicker in liquid form. You can get this. Fruit Hill Farm is the supplier here. There's a local supplier, John Riley, Green Hill Farm in Malin. Also will get you this. It's very, very good for flowering plants. What I mean by flowering plants: cucumbers, courgette, some French beans and tomatoes. All flower, all indoor crops, and they all like to climb, so this here is really, really good for your flowering plants. So guys, we've got 4 lines here. It's a double bed. What you see on the left hand side is your runner beans. Runner beans are the long stringy type of bean, you know, they can get up to 10 inches long. You eat the whole pod. And on the other side is a French bean. Again, they're both climbers, they're both heat loving, and you can see there are irrigation lines at the base of the 4 lines. What they are is they're a drip fed rigid system. An overhead sprinkler isn't so much good for flowering indoor plants. The reason being, it washes the flower off the actual plant, and then that can affect the fruit forming on the plant itself. Here we have the dwarf peas. Again, they've been starting to flower, and you can see the difference in the past fortnight since we were last here. They're going to get a little bit bigger, but what the pollinators are getting in, the bees are getting in with the ventilation and the vents open here during the day and the doors open, so you can see that we would hope that the flowers would start to give us the peas within the next fortnight. Little gem head lettuce, sometimes called baby gem, so you see that they'll be ready next week. And see how they form. You can plant them in nice and close, and that they grow upward more than outward like any other butterhead lettuce. So just ready for salad season. Kohlrabi starting to form a bulb there in the centre. You see the way they're slightly sticking out of the ground, and then it's that globular bulb that you use for cooking. Guys, this is a tomato plant. You might be familiar if you're trying to get your hands on some. They're like gold dust at the minute in the garden centres, but if you can see down here around me, there's maybe 350 tomato plants. We're going to plant try and plant every absolute one of them over the next week and a half. This is your tomato plant, guys. What we do when we're planting them, we remove these two little leaves here. They're kind of rendered useless. What we do also is this is called side shooting. You're taking these side shoots out. They take the power out of the plant itself into a side shoot. They're actually not to be used either. So again, give you a good indication that plant is practically ready to go. So it's bursting, looking to get out of that 10 centimeter pot. We're going to try and get those in within the next week, all into the glass house here. Finally, guys, I want to bring your attention to the sowing, the Suzanne head lettuce sowing from a fortnight ago. You can see they've practically all germinated. Almost a full strike rate there, not full, but almost. So you can see Suzanne on the 9th of the 4th. Next week we will get these into the ground and we'll show you how to get planting with regards to head lettuce and some outdoor field scale planting. We can have a look at that next week.